back to my YouTube channel, and today, against my will, we are going to be talking about Ryland Adams again. I am joking, of course. I am glad to be here in this moment with you talking about Sir Ryland Adams. What a nice title. Ryland, you're welcome. Anyway, okay, so Ryland is getting exposed and called out right now because his new response and approach to the Trisha Paytas ongoing drama feud between him, Trisha Paytas, Shane Dawson, and Jeffree Star, it is awful. Like, people are not having it, Trisha's not having it, but I'm not going to focus on Trisha's opinion of it in this episode. This is called a fucking YouTube video, Adam. I'm going to be focusing on Ryland's own fans, Shane's own fans, and the backlash that Ryland is getting from his own audience. Because I think that speaks more volumes than what Trisha's saying. No offense. So, basically, as we know, really condensed, I always do this at the start of these videos, Trisha Paytas, Hair by Jay, who is Jeffree Star's hairstylist and friend, did an Instagram live basically harassing, bullying, and threatening Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas responds to that by crying and feeling very scared and threatened, and basically was confused as to why Shane Dawson, her best friend of like 12 years, 14 years maybe, wasn't speaking up in her defense, but not only that, was still following Hair by Jay. And then also that Ryland was doing it. Then they messaged Trisha, allegedly. Shane texted Trisha, which Trisha showed on Frenemies, that he was like, let's come over and we'll just eat food and we'll forget about this. And Trisha, don't make any videos on Jeffree and stop making videos about this. Allegedly, this is what was happening behind the scenes. Trisha said that she was being acted towards this way by Shane for a long time to not make videos exposing them, and we know how that went because she's been doing all these exposes of them. And so from that, Trisha then came after Ryland because Ryland came after Trisha. So the drama was starting to quiet down, and Trisha Paytas actually announced that she was going to be going on a social media break. Now, this wasn't like any old Trisha Paytas social media break where she's, you know, doing it for attention and going away. We actually believed her. And she was going strong until she came back to respond to Ryland Adams calling her out. Now, Ryland reignited this drama for no reason whenever it was dying down, and basically went on his podcast. Now, keep in mind, him and Shane never addressed getting called out, so it's weird that he did it this time, and basically gaslighted the entire situation and Trisha and his audience by, if Trisha had a problem, why didn't she come to us? And this is between Trisha and Jeffree. You know, these are two adults. This isn't, you know, something I have to sort out. And then Ryland got this you'd, which is basically people calling out behaviour that is like, this you, this hypocritical, this you, no one survives in this you. But anyway, Ryland was getting a this you because on his first podcast episode with his co-host Lizzie and Ryland had a fight and it got deleted because Lizzie was friends with someone that Ryland didn't like, and Ryland was like, you can't be friends with both of us and this entire thing, and Trisha was like, this you? Like, you literally did this to someone else, that what you're doing to me hurt you. Okay, are we up to speed? So Ryland gaslit the entire situation. Now keep in mind, Trisha told us that Shane edits the podcast, so Shane's very involved in this too. Also, Shane wouldn't let a statement go out of, you know, Ryland without approving it as well. You know, little lapdog. But basically, just that, you know, if Trisha has an issue, she should have come to us. And, you know, why didn't she? She's a grown woman. Her and Jeffree's problem is not ours. Jeffree has always been loving to us. And then Trisha was like, nope, Ryland, you told me that Jeffree doesn't treat you well. You told me that Jeffree doesn't treat your sister well. And that he just treats Shane well. But now we're being told that he shit-talks Shane too, and Shane shit-talks him, that they want to get rid of him, and that you want to get rid of him, but yet you're loving him on your podcast, where you had him on your podcast multiple times after Trisha told you how uncomfortable it made her. So you're up to speed. So Ryland got so called out in the podcast where he was like clapping back at her. And really weird again because he doesn't really, you know, address things. Gaslit it and people weren't eating it up. Got so many dislikes. More dislikes than likes, and the comments were so negative that they both got disabled. Now, they weren't negative in a way of people just like harassing or whatever like that. It was people being like, this is hypocritical, I can't support you anymore. It was bad as in it was then, you know, highlighting his behaviour to other fans and then making them be like, oh shit. So, what do you think they did? They turned off likes and dislikes, so you couldn't see what, you know, the overall rating in the video was, and then they turned off comments, so you couldn't comment on it at all. So now, they've came back on another podcast episode, so comments are disabled on this one too, as they were to the previous video's podcast, and the likes and dislikes, as they did the previous one. So people were going back on like 3 podcasts earlier to comment their opinions on that because they tried to silence the fans on the past 2. However, whenever they did a community post which was promoting the podcast, little Ryland left the comment section opened. And we're seeing how his fans are reacting to it, and it's not good. So I'm going to show you this, then I'm going to show you the video of Ryland explaining why he turned off the comment section and, you know, doesn't want to hear his fans' input anymore of them calling him out. So here we go, let's just get into it. So he basically posted on community the podcast episode. So it says, our first fight on camera, and comments were left open. So here's some of the comments that we have here. I got this from Dennis. Dennis, we love you. Whether you felt Trisha's drama was valid or not, her feelings are valid. You should have at least listened to her. Ignoring your friend's cry for help, publicly or privately, is so disheartening, and I cannot support you anymore, Ryland. If I was in Trisha's place, I would be so heartbroken by you two. I'm unsubscribing from you. Ryland thinks he's so much better than everyone because he's in Shane's house. Why would you turn off the comments? Your only engagement with fans of your content. Someone said, not this being recommended to me. Someone quoted Ryland, you won't deal with the snakes in your house, whenever they were talking about snakes. That's the understatement of the century. Yeah, it was very ironic. In the podcast, they were talking about that Ryland has snakes in his house. Yeah, you. Another one, I've never seen someone go out as bad as Shane has. All this hiding is embarrassing, Ryland. And it's sad that Lizzie is the only one who, the co-host, has balls to sympathize and apologize to your friend Trisha. Isn't it weird that so many people are siding with Trisha in this because they're just relating this back to if this happened to them? That shows how bad this is for Ryland and Shane right now. This is just you gaslighting us, Ryland. Forgot to turn off the comments over here, boy. Ryland, you wouldn't turn off the comments and hide if you just had to apologize. Honestly, A for effort, you and Shane really had everyone fooled, but now everyone knows that you're a snake, Ryland. I think it's time for you to leave. Someone said, Ryland is me, explaining why he turned off the comments. So selfish, not an ounce of empathy. If you're gonna have a tea podcast, you can hide your head in the ground when tea is coming at you. And this is the full thing. Ryland's like, you know, this podcast just got a bit too serious. No, your entire podcast is a drama channel. You're a glorified drama channel. You talk about the drama with other people, the tea with other people. Now it's on you. Okay, what goes around comes around. You don't pick and choose. Here we go. Did she call you out for throwing Trisha under the bus? Sis, turning off comments is not taking a break from social media. I'm going to show you the clip of him now. He was basically saying that, you know, I'm taking a break from social media, but yet you're still posting. You're just silencing your audience. Someone said you're just silencing people. It's the turning off the comments at such a convenient time because mental health is, for me, you know, a priority. Not the fact that y'all are wrong and can't handle being told so. We'll read out a couple more. You're so sad, Ryland. Shane lost all the respect from viewers, but you seem decent. What's happening? Okay, so now someone said you should tell Shane to speak out about what's happening and make an apology video. You guys are shit. God, so that's their own audience. So now here's the clip from the podcast, the sip. You can go watch it if you want. Again, reaction, fair use. Here. This is them explaining why they turned off the comments, which came right after them getting so much backlash for gaslighting the entire situation about Trisha and lying about it, allegedly.
Dimension, 7th dimension, right. Lizzie making a better choice than I'm making today.
Y'all ready for the nap?
Well, I'm gonna segue. Comments have been off on this podcast. Right. You might have noticed. Lizzie literally texted me and she was like,
so
what happened? I was in the middle of my 10-hour comment session when all of a sudden they were abruptly turned off on me.
Isn't this so funny?
And you know what? I just feel like this podcast has been such a source of joy and happiness for me. It's been so much fun. And, there was...
It's joy and happiness for him because he's a tea channel. He's making, you know, drama, commentary on everyone else, but it's now about him, and he can't handle it. Trisha and Ethan were calling this out the frenemies. They were like, don't do it if you can't have it done to you.
Quite a bit of negativity going on in our comments.
Quite a bit.
And I was just like, you know what? I don't want this to affect me and how I move forward.
Yeah.
I don't.
People are advising you to do the right thing.
Me to taint who I believe I am as a person. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because at at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to sleep with myself, live with myself, and I feel like I'm ever evolving into a person that I like. I think is a good person, and I think regardless of anything that's going on, you and I like just reading comments about ourselves on the internet.
It's probably not healthy.
It's not healthy, even when
it's not the point of social media.
I'm questioning my own sexuality based on the comment section. So like, I guess like that is probably healthy that you turned it off, because I won't turn myself off.
And it's not a forever thing. I just think for now it's the healthiest thing to do. I think like taking a step back every once in a while from social media is just
But I don't understand, because he's like, I'm taking a break from social media, but you're not. You're just turning off your comments. You're silencing the people from calling out your hypocrisy or complimenting you, for all we know. You know what I mean? You're not taking a break from social media. That you're posting Again, I know nothing about the co-host here. I don't want to shade the co-host because she may be a nice person for all we know. Lizzie, people seem to like her. I know nothing about her, so no shade to her.
I deleted like all the apps from my phone, like not my actual accounts. I'm not crazy, but I did delete them from my phone for the time being.
Sorry, I had to laugh
because I think it's good to just like ground yourself every once in a while and like
snap back to reality.
Yeah, your own reality.
Here's the problem. What reality are we fucking in?
Well, I'm in the one that I feel like I'm living in right now, not like some other universe. You know,
that's really grounded.
And I think more than ever in the past year, I just don't think it's healthy to like be in our even on a great week, be in our comment section and have that affect our next show. I think I can be more unapologetically.
It's interesting, isn't it, how this is their approach now. They've been doing this podcast for a while. They've been on social media for a while. They've never done this before. They're doing this now because Trisha's making exposed videos of them and calling out that they were lying. But y'all, now's the time to take a break. But you're not even taking a break.
Not reading comments about us.
I totally agree with that. I also think like when they're super positive, you then get like addicted to the serotonin of like a praising thing, and then you're just chasing it, and it's like, girl, what happened?
But they didn't have a problem with this until Trisha started calling them out.
So I've been meditating, I've been reading again, which has been great, and I spent my entire weekend binge watching The Undoing on HBO Max.
Okay, here's my thing, right? It's like, you're saying that, you know, all these negative things, you know, even if you're reading positive comments, you can't do it anymore. You're only at like a breaking point now because people aren't giving you hate comments. They're calling you out for they believe you're lying, allegedly, or hypocrisies. If you can't handle that, your podcast is dedicated to calling out other people's ones. Mainstream celebrities, other YouTubers. It just seems really hypocritical that it can be turned around on you in a situation that 90% of people, maybe 80, 70% of people are agreeing that the way you're handling this is not good, and so you don't want to read that, and now you're like, oh, I never enjoyed reading positive comments, it gets too much, it's too much serotonin, and like, you only had an issue whenever the comments started calling you out. They weren't hate comments, they were like criticism comments, being like, you handled this wrong, you lost a true friend, you care more about money. It just seems like a very, I'm not going to say weird, I'm just going to say interesting approach. And like all the comments under the community post are definitely showing, you know, where people are at with this. And it's like, Shane and Ryland, like, the Trisha thing was dying down, and Ryland, you addressing it on your podcast reignited not only the conversation again, but Trisha, because she was able to call you out for inconsistencies, to say the least. Again, with the likes of James Charles, I always say that I believe Shane Dawson is business smart. And he's behind this podcast, and that was not a smart decision. This is not a smart decision either. Because the fans are getting mad now. The fans are getting disappointed. So if you're losing the fans' trust and the fans' support, who's left? Again, that's just my take on it. It's my opinion of it. And again, you can love them, and you can love the podcast, and you can love Shane. And you literally, like, the great thing is that we can have an open conversation about this. My opinion is my opinion. You can have your own, bestie. In this, they handled it wrong, and they're continuing to handle it wrong. Even take a week off from the podcast if you want to preach that you need a break from social media. You saying that you're deleting all the apps from your phone, but you're still, like, promoting your podcast and being in your that's not taking a break from social media. I really hate to break it to you. How are you getting all your topics for your podcast if you're off social media too? I don't know. I just think the fact that they're like losing the trust of their own fans now, and their fans are like, this is my breaking point. First of all, if this is your breaking point, wow. It's interesting moving forward what's gonna happen, and like, how long can you really have the comments off? Because comments are such an engaging thing, you know what I mean? People don't like it, they comment. People respond to them, people like it. People don't like it, who respond to them? It's an ongoing conversation about the video. Okay. I want to know what your opinion is though on this. Because maybe you agree with him. I know a lot of people don't. But maybe you do. Maybe you don't. I honestly want to know what your thing is, that like this was the breaking point for them. We'll talk about it below. Do you like my Paris and Kim background? I love it. Let me know. I'll talk to you below. Bye. Bye, bestie. Definitely interesting. Should I turn the comments off on this video? No. Bye.